So, maybe you have aching grade 2 or pre-2 level English skills. You've got junior high school level grammar and vocabulary, which is good enough for daily conversations in English. But your brain goes blank when you want to speak. Well, maybe there's an easy fix for that. In fact, there are 3 simple tips you can follow to fill the gap between the knowledge and the production. You'll get them all in 8 minutes. Hello, future English speakers. I'm Swing, your English mama and your friend. I hope you're having a lovely day wherever you are. Now, let's level up your English speaking skills today without learning any new grammar or vocabulary. We'll just go through these 3 simple tips. Ready? Tip number 1. Break down complicated sentences. When there's something you want to say, but you feel the words are stuck in your head and you can't create a phrase out of them, it's possible that the sentence you're trying to create is already a bit too complicated. Simplify your sentence into something that a 3-year-old could understand. Not a 5-year-old. They're cheeky and can understand more than you think. You need to be careful with them. But 3-year-olds are fantastic. They won't get you unless you really go easy with your word choice. So, that's it. Pretend you are talking to a 3-year-old child. Your words need to be simple and your phrases short, right? I'll give you an example. 昨日電車が遅れちゃったから来られなかったのって言おうと思ってたとこ。If you try to say that in one long English sentence, it might be, I wanted to tell you that I couldn't come yesterday because my train was delayed. That's rather heavy, isn't it? You can break it down and say, my train was late yesterday. I couldn't come. I wanted to tell you that. That's much better than just thinking and saying nothing. I'll put a few more examples like that in the description. So, when you're speaking, forget about complex grammar like the present perfect or relative adverbs, especially if you're not comfortable with them yet. If you feel it would have been better to use those structures, well then, it'll be your homework. Learn them again at home and try to use them later. You can't suddenly learn a new grammar structure on the spot when you're actually speaking. When you speak, keep it simple and carry on. Tip number 2. Just say the keywords. If you can't make a full sentence, even one simple enough for a 3-year-old, then just say the most important words you want to get across. I say this often because it works. In my 15 years of teaching experience, I've seen so many students start a sentence with an opener like, I think, or yesterday and then get stuck because they get so worried about making the rest of the sentence grammatically perfect that they hesitate, leaving the listener hanging and waiting for the main point. I know you want to create a grammatically correct sentence, but if it doesn't come to you in a few seconds, don't let that hesitation get in your way. You don't need to freeze. Just say the keywords like yesterday, train, late, and see how it goes. Do you know what I mean? It's a good phrase to remember in such cases. or you can also say you get it. Just know that very often, a few keywords are good enough for the other person to understand you. Think of it as your plan B in an English conversation. Tip number 3, and this is super important. Speak slowly. I'm speaking slower than my usual speed in most of my teaching videos. Obviously, I speak faster when I'm with English speakers. But if you are a beginner, please remember this. Speaking fast does not make you a good English speaker. Your pronunciation doesn't need to be perfect, but if your accent and intonation are not quite there yet, it's harder for listeners to understand you when you speak too fast, even if your grammar is perfectly correct. Also, when you speak slowly, small grammar mistakes don't matter so much because listeners still have time to process what you're saying. I notice this often in casual conversations everywhere and in public announcements like on trains or in airports, not just in Japan, but in other non-English speaking countries as well. I assume sometimes they have a grammatically correct script to read, but when it's spoken too fast, it's very difficult to understand, especially for non-native English speakers like many tourists everywhere, and like yourselves. You're not in a race. You're not a play-by-play sports announcer either, luckily. There's no need to rush. Please slow down. Pause after each sentence. Your English will sound much clearer and easier for anyone to understand. And that makes you a better English speaker than someone who speaks too fast to be understood. In time, you'll be able to speak at a more natural pace, similar to your native language. And just like that, that's how I learned to speak English without the fear of being misunderstood. I'm Swing Your English Mama. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one. Keep learning.